Hello, geometry students. Today on your own, you're going to learn our next topic, which is the triangle sum theorem. Don't worry, it's really easy. But to introduce this, I imported a little clip from another math teacher, and so you're going to watch that right now.
The next thing we're going to learn about is called the triangle sum theorem. So let's say we have this triangle. It has three angles. Here's an angle, here's an angle, here's an angle. So maybe we'll color them. So it has three angles. So if you had a triangle, you can actually like cut one out of a piece of paper and do this with me. If you ripped off the corners, just like you can see in this picture, if you went and ripped off the corner angles and removed them from the triangle, and then went and stuck them all together and had all their vertices touching, you would notice that when you stick those three angles together, this is a straight line. I just created a straight angle. How many degrees are there in a straight angle? 180 degrees. So what this proves is if you add the measures of these three angles, the pink angle, the yellow angle, and the green angle, if you add the three angles of a triangle together, they will always add up to 180 degrees. So the sum of the angles of a triangle will always be 180 degrees. So if the sum of the three angles of every triangle will always be 180 degrees. That is what the triangle sum theorem says. If you add up all the angles, they will always be 180 degrees. So,
Okay, how about a round of applause for our math teacher friend? She did a very nice job. I can't hear you. Okay, so now let's use the triangle sum theorem. So look at your notes, and here's the first problem. We have three angles here in a triangle, and we just learned that those add up to 180. So let's figure out what that missing angle is. So we'll take the two angles that we know, 64 and 82, and let's add those up. And when you do that, you get 146. But we know all three of them have to add up to 180. So let's subtract what we know, the 146 from the 180, and that gives us 34. So that means this angle is 34 degrees, because if we add up these angles, they will all add up to 180. Let's do another problem together. So here, again, three angles in a triangle have to add up to 180. So let's add up the angles that we know. We have a 50-degree angle. Now, what's this angle right here? That's right, that's 90. So we cannot forget that. Add these two up, you get 140. And what do we subtract that from? We subtract from 180. So let's go ahead and do that. When we subtract, we get 40. So the missing angle must be 40 degrees. The next two problems are on your own. Do them exactly like we just did them. So pause the video, do these problems, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our work. The first answer should be 65 degrees. The second answer should be 70 degrees. Don't forget, we have that right angle, so we have to add a 90 in. Now, probably most of you can do this just on your calculator. If you do it that way, that is fine. Let's move on to the next problem, which involves a little bit of algebra. So we're going to have to write an equation. Again, though, three angles add up to 180. So let's go ahead and write an equation. So the first angle, 4x plus 3, plus, we have a 70-degree angle, plus, we have a 75-degree angle. When we add up those three angles, they must add up to 180. So now we just have a little bit of algebra to do. Let's put together our like terms, which are all numbers here. So if we take 3 plus 70 plus 75, we get 148. Now, just do algebra. Subtract 148 from both sides. So 4x is equal to, that looks like 32. Divide by 4, x equals 8. Same concept, add up the angles, and they have to add up to 180. Okay, let's look at this one. Same concept, just a little bit more complicated. Three angles have to add up to 180. So let's start writing that. We have an angle 15x plus 10 plus another angle 20x minus 12 plus that third angle 7x plus 56. When we add those up, we get a long equation, must equal 180. So now, just start putting your like terms together. Look for like terms. We have a 15x, we have a 20x, we have a 7x. When we add those up, we get 42x. Now, let's add up the 10, the negative 12, and the 56. When we do that, we get 54. And of course, that still equals 180. Once you get that simplifying done, now just do some algebra. Subtract the 54 from both sides. So 42x equals, what's 180 minus 54? I think that's 126. Divide by 42. Hopefully you have more space than I do. When you do that, you end up with x equaling 3. Now, we found x, but we also want to find angle C. So look here, this is the expression for angle C. Let's take this x value now and plug it in for x. So 20 times, well, x is equal to 3, minus 12. When we do that, 20 times 3 is 60, minus 12. Looks like that is going to give me 48. So angle C is 48 degrees. We could go ahead and plug in for angle A, plug in for angle B, but they're all going to add up to 180. Okay, the next problem is on your own. Pause the video, write an equation, solve for x, and then find angle K. Okay, let's go ahead and check our work. Notice I wrote an equation, added up all of those angles equaling 180, did the algebra, and when I did that, I got x to equal 7. Then I took that and plugged it in for angle K, 11 times 7 minus 17. I got a 60-degree angle. Angle K is 60 degrees. Okay, so now you have some work to do on your own. On the worksheet, complete all of the other problems. They're just like the examples we did on the video. And then there is a whole bunch of IXL at the end. A lot of it is review on equations of lines and slope and all that stuff. This will all be due on Monday when you get back. Okay, enjoy. We'll see ya. God bless.